Another video, a balisong video, and another archery video. And this week I'm going to start with the leather, which is related to archery because it's going to be a hip quiver. I wanted to make this video because I recently purchased a book on how to draw Sheridan style. This obviously, if you know about Sheridan style, is not Sheridan style. But what I'm looking to do is incorporate my style, which is, I don't know, I seem to really like to draw, kind of mythical, tribal type things, and incorporate the Sheridan style with that to kind of come up with my own hybrid style. So I've watched a few videos, particularly Don Gonzalez's stuff, where he's explaining how to draw Sheridan style and how flow is a really big aspect of that. And basically I'm just trying to come up with my own unique style that pops out from it. When someone looks at my work, they can be like, oh wow, well that's something new. But I also want it to be something that flows really well, and that's what I really like about the Sheridan style, is that the way it almost looks like the flower arrangements and the vines and everything is almost like it's almost moving, the way that it's set up with the circles and everything. So I just ordered that book. It should be here soon. It was kind of expensive as far as books go. Hopefully I get something out of it. I did a little research and found out that it was, the one book that's worth getting. I have gotten a few leather crafting books, and looking through what you're getting for the price you're paying, it's really not worth it. You can watch a couple videos on YouTube and get, if not, just as much, if not more, information from those videos. And not to knock anybody, but a lot of the books that are out there, as far as people who are good at figure carving and tooling, they're not, sorry to be so frank about it, but they're not. Anyway, I have been trying to take a page out of Don Gonzalez's book, so to speak, and draw directly on leather. It cuts out a step. It almost challenges you to be a little more creative on the spot. Another good thing about doing it is that you really know where your boundaries are and where you can fill up. A lot of the times you might do a sketch, and then you put it on the transfer, then you go to put it on your leather piece, and all of a sudden this part has to be cut off, or that part has to be cut off, and it's much more easy to kind of adjust that when you're working directly on the piece. So this is going to be a hip quiver. As you can see here, this is the belt loop here, and this is going to be the pocket, which I'm going to have to wet mold a little bit to give it some depth, which I'll probably just do that with a block of wood or something, a thin block of wood, or we'll see how that works. I am going to put this out for sale on a couple groups I belong to on Facebook once I'm done, but if nobody bites, I will use it myself. So and I'm going to do a toggle here, which, hang on one second, and I'll grab the little piece of bone that I carved for that. So here's that piece of bone that's going to go on there. Found this in the state forest. I'm always looking for bones and antlers and stuff, and anytime I find something, I don't know what it's from, I just found it. Some remains, and I always keep like a bucket of these things around, and they stink to carve, but they come out looking really cool. So that's going to go here. I'll have a toggle pull here, And yeah, hopefully it comes out really well. I'm really looking to hopefully get my work out there. I've had a couple people take some arm guards off me lately, and we'll see how this goes. It doesn't really look too great the way I got it pieced together here, but hopefully when it's all tooled up and stuff, I will come out looking nice. I'm going to probably I'm going to bevel the edges, and I'm going to case it for a few hours at least. I don't know if I'm going to do any knife work tonight, but I'm definitely going to case this right after this video. And yeah, let me talk about that real quick before I stop the video. So I have seen in a few crafters videos that they could take or leave casing. They're like, I've cased it, and sometimes it doesn't really seem to make a difference either which way, so I just go ahead and for time's sake, avoid casing. Now, for me, I make sure that I am always doing a case job when I'm actually doing carving on here, because it makes a huge difference. Use a little bit of soap alongside of or along with water. You let that sit in an airtight space. The leather starts to absorb everything evenly throughout the piece. So what happens if you take a sponge, you wet it down real quick, and you're just by doing this action, you're filling this with water. It's gonna drop off bits of water in one spot more than others. Okay, so by wiping the whole thing down, and I like to do front and back so it's coming from both sides. When you're letting it set, it gives it time for it to seep throughout, and it just gives you a more even moisture content through your piece. Also, I can tell the difference between casing my leather, letting it air out. So one thing I would avoid is casing leather, setting it aside, pulling it right out of the bag, and then carving it right away. You should always let it sit, take it out, and maybe give it a few minutes to kind of air out, and then start carving it. I found that's what works best for me, and that avoids, especially if you have a lot of moisture in there, getting some unwanted wrinkles and stuff. You don't want it to look like it's scrunched up or whatever. But that's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you once I do some carving. Embrace your creativity, guys. Peace.